Okay, now we're going to show a video that will help with assuming the bridging position, okay? So if your patient is max assist, when you think of working on helping someone do a bridge, if they're max assist, you may require equipment to help you perform that. And so we're going to talk about using a sheet. So in your PCM1 course, you learned how to get a sheet under a patient. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your sheet, kind of open it up a little bit, because the sheet needs to go just above their pelvis and just below the patient, okay? So I'm going to take this, I'm going to kind of roll it up here. We're going to have the patient roll. She'll roll to her side. I'm going to come here, bring this sheet here under her, and then I'm going to have her roll back. Now I'm going to have her roll towards me, and then I can have this sheet come out here, okay? You'll see it's just above her pelvis and just below her pelvis. She's going to roll back onto her back. Okay, so if you remember how we get them into hook line, I'm just going to give her a little gentle suggestion here, the tibial plateau, bilaterally. Okay, now if I need to help someone who is max assist, I could use a bed sheet or I could use a gait belt potentially, but a gait belt is obviously a little bit more narrow and may slide when they're doing the bridge. Okay, when I'm doing this, I'm going to take the bed sheet in this hand and hold it nice and firm like this, and then this side will be on this, in this hand here. Patient can have their hands down beside their trunk to help if they need to. You want to think about good body mechanics when doing this, okay? So make sure that you're bending at your knees and bending at your hips as needed, okay? I'm going to have my arms straight here. I don't want to lift them up with my arms because I want to use my body, okay? So in this position, I'm going to simply just kind of lean back, okay? My body mechanics are nice here, and I'm not using my arms to do all the work. I'm using my body, okay? Great, so that would be beneficial for someone who is max assist. When doing this, you'll see my knees are here just below her knees and kind of adducting her knees and keeping them from sliding out. So once again, that's a bridge for max assist. If your patient, it would be considered, we'll go ahead and we'll get this out. Thank you. Okay, if your patient would be considered maybe min to mod assist, you want to go proximal at the pelvis, okay? So we'll pretend that this patient has recently had a stroke affecting her left side. So I'm going to be on her affected side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hands on her pelvis. So you want to make sure you're not in her lumbar spine area because that will just encourage an anterior pelvic tilt. So I want to make sure my hands are facilitating the muscles we need to bridge. So that would include the gluteal muscles, okay? So I'm going to simply place my hands under her glutes here. You'll notice my arm is wrapped around her femur, so that's to help kind of give some leverage. So we're here and I'm going to give her a cue. We're going to lift your bottom up when I say 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? I'm simply leaning back with my body. I am not just moving my arms like this because I won't be able to last very long as a therapist if I do that. So make sure you're using your body mechanics wisely when doing bridging. Okay? Finally, if your patient is more min assist or just maybe contact guard and they just need just a little cue, you can do a long axis distraction. And so once again, if she was unilaterally involved, I could stay on this side, her involved side, and I can give a little distraction of her femur, and then I can cue her glutes with my other hand. So I'm going to give her a little distraction of her femur, which will help unweight her pelvis, and I'm going to cue her glutes to lift her pelvis, okay? If she's bilaterally involved, I can again assume this position where I'm sitting on my own feet, and then I'm going to give her a little distraction to help unweight her pelvis, so to encourage weight bearing through her feet and lift her bottom up, okay? Another cue that you can do is you can simply put your hands here at the kind of on her tibial plateau area and tell her to push her knees into my hands, and that will help cue them to lift their bottom up. Once again, these last two strategies are for those who may need just a little cue and not any proximal facilitation.